Have you ever started a DIY project and thought, how hard could it be? But then you started staring at a lopsided disaster and you thought, where did I go wrong? Well, you're not alone, because today we're gonna go over 5 DIY projects that homeowners regret the most and what to do instead. My name is Carrie. I'm a designer here at Penny Modern, and I'm also a DIY enthusiast, and I've done plenty of DIY projects, so I can share with you plenty of my own horror stories. And I've also gathered up information from places like realtor.com and Better Homes and Gardens to give you the best advice. And after I share with you the DIY horror stories, I'm going to share with you 3 of the DIY projects that homeowners love the most and are super easy and worth your time and money. For our first DIY project, we're going to kick it off in the bathroom with tile. Tile is a very classic home upgrade that people do like to attempt themselves, including myself. I didn't install this tile, but in our previous home, me and my husband installed ceramic tile floors in our bathroom. And I can tell you, if you do not prep correctly, it can turn into a nightmare. We had rented a tile saw, and we determined right before we started using the tile saw that we actually needed to do a ton of prep work that we hadn't thought about. So we hurriedly did the prep work to level the floors, and we didn't do it quite right. If you don't do the prep right when you're laying your tile, you end up having uneven floor tiles. And here's what happened to me. We did the mortar, we installed the tiles, and then we grouted them. And then when I went to wipe away all the cloudiness from the grout, I must have put my hand on one, and we ended up having uneven tiles, and it drove me crazy. Every time I went to the bathroom, I would stub my toe on that tile. Eventually, I just had to throw a rug over it. What's even worse than uneven floor tiles? Well, that would be a DIY shower tile install gone wrong. The National Tile Contractors Association says that DIY shower tile installs are actually a leading cause of both mold as well as leaks, as well as catastrophic water damage. You definitely need to be careful if you're putting tile in your shower or bathtubs around. If you're gonna do a DIY tile install, it is all about the prep. You definitely, if you're putting it on the floor or even the wall, you need to make sure that things are level first. And you also have to do a lot of waterproofing. There's a variety of different backer boards or even a lot of different treatments that you can do to waterproof it, and you need to make sure everything is waterproofed properly. I think a DIY tile install on your floor is a pretty easy thing to do, but I would leave the shower and bathtub for the professionals. The other thing that we did that was really easy was, instead of doing a ceramic tile that requires all the mortar and grout on our other bathroom that we did, we actually put in luxury vinyl plank that had a stone look to it. It wasn't a wood look, it was a stone look. And we put that right on top of our existing tile, and that was literally so easy. We did it in 6 or 8 hours, got the whole thing done, and it looked beautiful, and there was no uneven tiles to deal with. It was a much simpler project for a DIYer. Have you ever had a DIY project go wrong? Please let me know down in the comments below, and let everybody in the community know what they should watch out for, and you're gonna help out other people just like you. So let's hear it in the comments below. Bathrooms aren't the only DIY project that can seem really simple but can spiral out of control. The next one here is going to be something in the backyard, and it's something that can cause mass chaos and can literally collapse if you don't do it right. Building your retaining wall here in the backyard can seem like a really easy, simple DIY project, right? One homeowner that I found on Reddit actually built a taller retaining wall, and it ended up collapsing, taking out their entire patio, as well as flooding their basement because they didn't do it right. And apparently this is not uncommon. The American Society of Structural Engineers says that a lot of retaining walls are not built properly because of poor drainage and a lack of structural planning. If your retaining wall that you want to build is more than 2 feet tall and it's holding back soil, you really should get professional advice on the proper drainage as well as structure for your wall. But if you do want to do something yourself, you can stick to very cute, non-structural garden borders that are just the cement stones that are on the border of your garden, or maybe something that's only 2 feet tall. Would you do your own retaining wall because you're like, hey, it's just some cinder blocks, I can totally do it myself? Or are you gonna leave that for the professionals? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear. And if you think outdoor disasters are bad, what happens if the floor inside your house starts betraying you? There's a certain flooring project that can leave homeowners seriously regretting that they decided to do it themselves. And I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. This next home feature is something that is gorgeous, it's timeless, and it's often one of the top 10 items that a home buyer is looking for. If you guessed it, it's actually hardwood floors. These are not hardwood floors, this is LVP, but if you're thinking about installing a hardwood floor yourself as a DIY upgrade to your home, you might want to think again. Installing hardwoods correctly is actually a precision art. It requires the right moisture levels as well as nailing patterns, and then you also have to get the subfloor extremely level or it can cause major issues. The Home Advisor actually advises that improperly installed hardwood flooring can buckle, it can crack, and there can be gaps in between the different planks. And repairs are definitely not cheap. So what should you do instead? You might want to consider an engineered hardwood floor, but I prefer luxury vinyl plank, especially if you're gonna do it yourself. It's much more forgiving and it's a floating floor, and that way it's really hard to mess it up, honestly. You do have to get the floor fairly level, but once you install it, it's very durable. And that is the other thing. One of my subscribers actually commented on some of my videos and said that they regretted getting hardwood floors in their home because it scratches really easily because they have both pets and kids. And if you're thinking about doing your own home makeover or remodel project, I've got a great free resource for you. It's my room makeover planner and checklist. And this will help you plan your project. It'll help you figure out what you want to keep, what you want to get. It'll help you build a budget as well as a little layout. So download your copy today for free at pennymodern.com/freebies. And the link is down in the description. But even if you conquer your flooring issues, there's another DIY project where if you don't prep correctly, it can spell curtains for the entire project and how it performs over time. This next one is the ultimate DIY kitchen makeover, and that is painting your kitchen cabinet. Better Homes and Gardens actually says that painting your kitchen cabinets and doing that DIY kitchen makeover can be one of the best, most affordable, most transformative kitchen upgrades that you can do. We recently painted our kitchen cabinets using a Heirlooms Traditions paint, which is almost like a chalk paint. And what's great about it is that you don't have to sand down the entire finish off. You can use a deglosser, and I have a whole video about it that I'll link down below. But if you don't properly do the prep and make the surface perfectly smooth and get off all the grime and gunk, it can actually make the cabinet paint that you put on peel over time. And that's one of the top complaints about certain people that paint their kitchen cabinets. They do say it tends to peel off, especially in high touch areas. I have painted another home's kitchen cabinets and I didn't have that issue, but I tend to do a lot of prep work. Those I sanded down, I did primer, I did 2 or 3 coats of the paint, and then I did a top gloss coat. So you can do it correctly, but it is something that you really need to make sure you follow the instructions on the cabinet paint. Watch lots of videos here on YouTube on how to do the proper prep, and consider doing a top coat that's going to seal everything in, and that way all your hard work won't go to waste. Have you ever painted your kitchen cabinets? Let me know down in the comments below what your experience was like. I would love to know. I don't think that it would maybe last for 10 years, but I think it'll last at least a few years until we save up enough to do our complete kitchen renovation where we're gonna rip everything out. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss that. But even if your kitchen looks fresh with painted kitchen cabinets done the proper way, this next DIY fail can be something that you walk on every single day. I'm talking about new stairs or new railings. These are something that can really elevate a home and modernize it, because a lot of times the railings on staircases can look very dated. So it's something that's very tempting to do it yourself and improve. Doing a stair makeover can be a great DIY project, but there are some things that you need to watch out for. And this is a project that I have taken on myself. So in my old condo, we had stairs that were definitely 70s style stairs, and they were carpeted and they were pretty ugly. So I took it upon myself to remove all the carpet and literally thousands of staples underneath, and it took me weeks to do. And then I painted the wood and we painted the railing as well. We did not actually remove any stairs or remove the railing. But here's the thing that you really need to know about a staircase makeover. The National Association of Home Builders says that there are strict safety codes when it comes to, if you make structural changes to the stairs, it can cause injuries, it could cause lawsuits, or maybe even both. When we did our staircase makeover, we decided to stay with strictly cosmetic and just changing out the paint and removing the carpet. There is a lot of codes and guidelines and everything. So if we wanted to change the handrail or replace the stairs themselves, we would have had to get them up to code, which is not something that we wanted to undertake. And that's something that you should hire a professional to make sure everything is safe. And you would be surprised, just updating the paint color of your stairs is a great way to modernize the look without costing a lot of money or having to hire a contractor. But don't worry, not every DIY project ends in a disaster. I promised you those 3 DIY projects that homeowners really love and make them happy, but there's really very little risk involved. But first, if you want to learn how to decorate your home like a pro, but on a budget you can actually afford, hit subscribe, because that's what we're all about here at Penny Modern. The first easy DIY project that is definitely worth your time is actually installing a new light fixture. This is something that can seem really intimidating to have to deal with electrical, but me and my husband have done this DIY project many times with great success, and it's really easy. One of the secrets is when you have a light fixture that's mounted on the ceiling, or maybe it's your bathroom vanity, the key is getting something very similar in terms of the base that attaches to the wall or to the ceiling. So if it's a circular shape or a rectangle shape, it's much easier to replace that, because a lot of times you can use the box or the mounting that's already in place, and that way you don't have to cut a new hole in the wall or anything like that. And that makes it much simpler to do this yourself. You do want to make sure you get some instruction and always follow the directions, or maybe watch some videos here on YouTube to make sure you understand the wiring part. But it is pretty simple that pretty much any homeowner can do it. You should always check with an electrician if you're ever in doubt, or if you have really old wiring in your house. That could be another concern if you don't have a ground wire and things like that. But if you have something that's maybe already been updated and the wiring is a little bit more current, that is an easy DIY project, and it's gonna completely change. So you can change the finish, you can change the color, and you can change the type of light bulb. So if you have an LED light, you can go from a bright white to a warm light, and it really will change the entire look and feel of your room to do that DIY light upgrade. This next super easy DIY upgrade is something that I want to tackle here in the next couple months, and it's something that can actually boost your home's value, which is pretty crazy to think, because this is painting your front door. This is a really great project that you can knock out in the afternoon with maybe some sandpaper, a paint roller and paintbrush, and get it knocked out and done within a weekend or maybe even a day. And you can choose a really bold color that contrasts with the exterior color of your home. I think one of the top colors right now is actually a black or a charcoal gray. A lot of people are loving that color. Or you can do something that's more colorful and gives your home some personality. And remember, this is something that is the first thing that your guests are going to see when they come to your front door. You want to make it welcoming, bright, cheerful, or maybe again, black, something bold, something more mysterious. And if you don't like it or ends up not working, you can easily just paint it over again and try a different color. This is something that's not like changing the whole exterior color of your house. It's just one door in your home. And this next one is definitely another crazy, simple project that delivers huge results. This next one is changing your cabinet hardware out. I know it seems ultra simple and kind of like duh, but this one is great because you don't have to wait for paint to dry. You don't need to sand anything. The key is measuring where the holes are on the cabinet, where your current hardware is. And this makes it really simple, is if you get a handle that has the same place where the holes would be that you currently have, you don't even need to drill any new holes. And you can just literally use a screwdriver, update your hardware, and it's gonna make a huge look to your space, whether it's your kitchen or your bathroom or even your furniture. That is another one that is like adding a little bit of jewelry. You can try a different color. Maybe it's brass, maybe it's a polished nickel, or maybe it's a stainless steel, but you can try something totally different and see how you like it in your room. Now that you know some of the DIY projects that people regret the most, don't you want to see some of the kitchen upgrades that people also regret if you're thinking about doing that kitchen makeover? If you do, you should watch this next video right here. Don't forget to download your free room makeover planner, and that is at pennymodern.com/freebies, and the link is down in the description. See you in the next video.